Hello everybody and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today I'm going to add basically just viewer suggestions for my mod. Pretty simple actually, let's just get right into it. So the first suggestion is from Loredami, if I'm not pronouncing that wrong, who basically wanted that the laser, is, more balanced out and not kind of broken as it was. So I kind of fixed it now, relatively. First of all, there is a crafting recipe with a robot eye and a robot scale. The scale you get from fish, I didn't hit it. And, the eye you get from the eye robot. Relatively simple. Then you just have this thing heat up and it takes a long time to cool down and, you can't shoot in that time. Yeah. Pretty neat, But basically, I also kind of added what the comment also wanted, that the longer you hold, the more damage it does, so that, you technically could, like, one hit a warden, I think. Okay, now. Maybe I didn't hold long enough. It definitely does multiply the longer you hold, but I don't know by how much, because it definitely does two-hit him. If I could have hit him. But, that's that. Pretty neat, right? And now we have a comment from Patrick Fisher. And, he basically wanted me to add the Muncher variants for, chocolate and, marshmallow. So I did that, But instead of kind of just like wanting to go in here and actually do the name tag, I kind of added a little kind of command that is pretty neat. It's called /spawn. You can spawn bats, chickens, cows, husks, or munchers. And, then you have all variants or normal. And boom, that's all variants now. So there you got the white chocolate, that's the dark chocolate, that's the milk chocolate, and there's the marshmallow. So yeah, they're all there. And now there's 12 different versions of them. And yeah. At this point, I feel like I'm probably done texturing this guy. I feel like he has enough skins, But, still, very cool. Thanks for the comment. So, now, actually, once again, Loredami left another comment and basically said that, he thinks the mod would have potential for, basically biomechanical stuff, so that the player could, like, turn themselves sort of into a cyborg and gain abilities. And I thought that was a really cool concept, so I did add that, so you now have the robotic modifier, relatively simple to make. It's not that expensive, and basically you can put a leg here, or I mean, these two slots only take legs, so you could also just do this. These two only take arms, there's only the body and stuff, so you can but basically you can never take these off again. So once you have these on, there's no way to get the thing on again. So you basically get the plus that, for example, with another leg, you get faster, or like a robot leg, and like 2 robot legs, you get even faster than before. And like the arms give you haste, for example, that you can break blocks faster, like a lot faster. The body gives you fire resistance, and the head gives you night vision. So that basically with this full set, you're kind of really set for kind of a lot of expeditions, pretty much no matter if you're going mining or, if you're just kind of trying to fight mobs, I guess, because, speed is kind of always, pretty good. Also, the fire resistance is kind of really neat. And I was also kind of thinking about adding basically that not really me, but my brother was thinking about adding basically that the robot player also is, arrow proof, and, fire resistance it is already, but like arrow proof, because, all the other robots are, you can't even shoot them with like the laser, or I feel like the bazooka still explodes, I think, on the robots, but you can't shoot them with the laser, for example, because the laser also just bounces off of them, and arrows do too. But, I'm unsure about that. I'm unsure. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm gonna add that. Depends. Depends if anybody wants it. if anybody would, you know, write down a comment saying that they would really love me to maybe add that you can have more robotic stuff, maybe that you can have robotic organs that you, or like genuinely organs that you can exchange for robotic ones, that instead of just putting, you know, your robotic parts into a slot, you actually have the body parts in there, and, you know, have to take your actual body parts out to put the robot parts in, so to speak. But, you know, I'm just kind of unsure, basically, you know, so like, give me ideas if you can, if you want, you know, anything is pretty much, you know, pretty like helpful. And I guess, you know, that's the suggestion. Thank you very much for the comment. Now, basically, lastly, there's no, you know, viewer suggestions left, sadly, to kind of put in. Would be really cool if, you know, maybe someone would maybe give me another suggestion, you know. And basically, I kind of just added a few comments that I want to show. I mean, the first one you kind of already saw, /spawn. You can spawn bats. A number, this goes up to 30. 31 is, you know, too high. Only 30, that's the highest. And you can spawn bats. And, you know, you can obviously spawn husks, chicken, whatever. And, you know, the munchers and stuff, you know. But that's not the main kind of focus in the commands, you know, kind of theme. Because the coolest command is actually robotify, where you can just literally robotify everything, turn them into normal ones by false, you know, so anti-robotify, or true for, you know, robotify. And then you can do bats, chicken, cow, creeper, pig, player, salmon, sheep, you know. Choose literally whoever you want, basically, and if I just do all, basically, they all just turn into robots. Now the robot bat version of themselves. And if I do /robotify, and, wait, hold on, I need to set this to false, then boom. Everything in this world just became normal again. So that's those two commands. Now there's also another command. I don't remember exactly what it was called. Let me think, actually. I remember now. It was /tame. /tame. So here you do the entity that wants to tame another entity. For example, me. I want to tame. Now, what do I want to tame? You can do a specific entity by, you know, copying this. And then, for example, if you have, let's say, a wolf. Here. That you then just do this. And you have here the wolf tag. You know, the exact thing. And then you just do this, and he's tamed. But what I can also do is, of course, to add E and just tame every single entity in the world. Now, as you can see, this didn't really tame anything, but if I spawn, for example, you know, 30 munchers, you know, these are not tamed right now. Oh, wait, hold on, they are? Okay. Well, okay, I guess that did work, I guess. So, that's actually pretty neat. But, you know, that's that. So you can summon these guys, you can tame everything in the world, you can turn things into robots, specific entities as well, you know, so yeah, kind of let your creativity loose, pretty much. So this is pretty much just the commands I added, you know. Not that interesting, I know, but, you know, I kind of had to show this, you know. And now, as a last side note, you know, please subscribe to the channel, you know, please, you know, like, and, you know, if you have any suggestions, of course, comment them, you know, in the comments, and I will make another video, you know, basically putting whatever you want into Minecraft, you know. And right now it's, you know, kind of for my mod maker, but I will, you know, actually probably in the future make basically mods just out of viewer suggestions, you know, because I really like, you know, making Minecraft mods. So, you know, thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.